for Amigos, a fairy tale for adults. At the end of 2020, I didn't know what to do with my life. I escaped from my reality. I took care of the old man. I made him food and I made him talk. Every day I watched the sky from my window. Whenever I could, I walked in nature to breathe. My daughter taught me how to breathe. I climbed the mountains higher and higher. At the beginning of 2021, my new road led through a beautifully situated farm, quite high for my walks. When I crossed the farm, I met the prince of this kingdom. He invited me for coffee. There was a newborn baby goat there. His mom was too young to be a mom. She rejected him. Prince had a good heart. He treated every life as a gift, even though it was hard for him. He called him Amigo.
Nie. Das ist immer noch ein Amigo. Schön von so.
He made him a bed and fed him with the baby milk. Amigo was very happy. He loved the warmth and the milk. He was always hungry.
So nice.
Amir, you want more?
I visited them whenever I could. When my work was terminated, I asked the prince if I could live with them for a while. He said yes. Then I lived with them for a while, on the hill, facing the sunrise. Amigo grew very fast. He was very funny. He was friendly with a dog called Digno, Prince's best friend. He tolerated cat Luxie. He loved Prince and me. I didn't count the rest of the animals. It was winter. I loved to feed Amigo. He was so sweet. I could play with him for hours. We liked it.
Don't eat my coat. Don't eat my coat.
Amigo loved to eat. He tried everything. He tried cat food too. Luxie was always meowing hungry like Amigo. Amigo loved to travel. He loved Prince's car. When Prince traveled, he always took Digno and Amigo with him. We went for picnic once, together with Prince's young son. Amigo loved it. Afterwards, he felt a little cold. I came back in early spring. They waited for me. Prince built a caravan. We drove it over the mountains with his son, Digno and Amigo. The world was nice outside, was waking up. Amigo was interested in goats, but not really. It was mutual. I sat on a bench in front of the house. Prince built it for me. I watched the views. Amigo loved to sit with me. We always drank coffee together. I met Amigo's father. His name was Pan, the god. He was a very proud god, very masculine, in terms of presence and resources. He had a long story. When he was young, He was in love with the eldest goat called Oma, Grandma. He was head over heels in love with her. She was in love with him too. And she let him fuck her all the time, even though she could barely walk, until some reckless youth accidentally ran her over. In despair, Pan screwed all the goats at once. That's how he fucked Pania, and their common young daughter Nighty at the same time. Then my friend Amigo was born. This is where my story started. The beautiful white goat Misha was in love with Pan. I could watch their love courtship for hours. Prince told me the story of every animal he had. He saved most of them. He loved them. I had never seen such love. He knew everyone by name, he knew what they do and what they like. He told me that black pigs can have intercourse for several hours, without interruption. The man pig can give endless satisfaction to the woman pig, slowly and softly, no tension. When the grass had not yet grown, the goats ate hay. They liked to play and fight. Sometimes it looked funny, sometimes it looked scary. And of course they loved to fuck. Pan could do it over and over again. Amigo was like his father, but he was twisted from the start. He was raised by a man, and he treated the man like a goat. Prince liked to play musical instruments. His favorite was the guitar. His father was a gypsy king, therefore he is a prince, a gypsy prince, a real one. His roots are connected with the famous Django Reinhardt. He is proud of who he is, but he doesn't want to talk about the past, about the father. Prince often plays and sings for me. He likes it. I like it too. In late spring, Prince got a little job. I waved goodbye to him. Amigo and Digno sat with me at my bench. Sometimes we watched the geese's toilet. Very precise toilet. Like meditation. They didn't mind us looking at them. They were busy with each other. Even the old pig Nev Nev didn't bother them. They were in no hurry anywhere. We also did not hurry anywhere. It was freedom. Only Amigo and the rooster were busy. They took advantage of the fact that the bigger ones were doing their things. So Amigo could eat as much hay as he wanted. On cloudy days, everything was different, a different dimension, no shadow. The black rooster hung out with his hen. He was a king for her. She closed her eyes so differently. I had never noticed this before. Geese also close their eyes like this. I noticed she was in love with him. She followed him everywhere, like love was in the air. Digno was in love too. We kept eye on him, so he wouldn't run away to the girl, the blonde one. There were problems with the neighbor after that. Pania kept me company. She understood the need for love. Amigo understood too. We all understood. Amigo was courting me. I didn't take this seriously. This was his nature, real nature. The geese didn't need us. They went everywhere together in a single line. Goose life seemed simple. Their ways were straight, independent, but in a group. They talked a lot. They were especially loud when someone was afraid of them and ran away. They would hiss then and run after the fearful one. Just like that. I looked at this, and I saw the real fear in the eyes of these people. The geese were not afraid. They were together. In summer was green everywhere, like on a colored postcard. Cows were mooing all around. They had their numbers pierced into their ears and bells around their necks. The ringing was multiplied, like in orchestra. A new resident has arrived in the kingdom, a big male cat. He loved my room and my bed. Prince brought him from the village when Luxie ran away. Probably she didn't like it anymore. Prince named him Chabo. He loved him dearly and cared for him greatly. Prince refused to pierce his animals. Instead, he gave them necklaces with the numbers on them.
Amigo, amigo, come here. Come.
Amigo was very proud of the collar he got. It was a special collar. He had grown up and was more independent. He continued to sit with me, and he was hitting on me more and more. I understood him. I didn't take it personally. Nevertheless, he was a real goat. We went for our walks whenever we wanted. There was also a new goat in shed. Nighty had given birth to a goat boy named Charlie, another of Pan's sons. Charlie had a broken leg. Prince didn't notice the little goat while closing the barn. It happened. He could not afford professional care. He received instruction from the vet, and for a while he was a self-made doctor. A good one. The leg healed quickly. Charlie was impatient. Nighty would sometimes get tired of him. He was like a velcro, he wouldn't come off her. For the first time, Nighty was a real mother. Prince built a summer house for the parrots. They were loud like Charlie. I was very happy with the quietness at home. Amigo was also very happy. He finally was a king. Prince put him in an enclosure with the hens and roosters. He was tired of people complaining. Amigo was cute and passers-by chatted him up. He eagerly followed them. He also eagerly tried to copulate with the legs of these passing tourists. They liked it less. They didn't know him and they didn't understand why. So we were happy that he enjoyed it. He could eat freely and the elders didn't chase him away. He didn't mind being the king of the hens and roosters. Nighty and Vanya liked to be petted. They were very sweet, and I liked their smell. Charlie was always around. Nighty was taking good care of him. I loved the summer, was lazy, was warm. Pan had only one thing on his mind: how to fuck. Even Charlie started. Pan always got what he wanted. He was a real fucker. Even a hen in love with her rooster was impressed by him. Sometimes Digna and I, we would go alone to look at the views. Sometimes it rained. The geese liked the rain best, glad that they were wet. They washed even longer than usual. When the rain stopped, everything was different. Magical. Two roosters showed their strength. They rocked. I came back the end of 2021. Amigo was a big goat. He was living with his father in the barn. He was accepted. He was fine. He came when he was called by his name. He was still our friend, but he had matured.
Come, amiga. Amiga. Amigo, come. Come on.
I brought the disease with me. We spent a couple of days in bed. Prince let Papagayo out of his cage to keep him quiet. In return, he entertained us with his tricks and his silence. Parrots are very intelligent, especially when they live in pairs. Prince told me that parrots have a very old and primary genetic code, written in their brains, similar to dinosaurs. That's why they know how to live in symbiosis, together in peace. This gives them enormous strength. When they are left alone, they also manage, but they don't have as much power anymore. Papagayo was managing, not bad for a lonely man. I learned well from this. We recovered quickly. The air was so clean and fresh. It healed us. Digno and I, we went on our walks. We loved it. This was freedom. It was New Year 2022. Prince had trouble keeping his kingdom. He was behind on the rent. But money was found. We hoped everything would work out. I left the kingdom with big hopes.
Just before I sleep, I let my dreams wash over me. I walk through their reality, as I know my wish is done.
In early 2022, war broke out in my neighborhood. I was scared. I panicked. I didn't know where or how to live. I asked Prince to wait for me, and I escaped for the second time. I traveled with my daughter. It was a long journey, not always easy. This was about her. She showed me her world. I came back sometimes in the late spring. Prince no longer lived in his kingdom. He lived on the first floor of a house on a street in the small village. The owner of the new house was a good man. He agreed to some of the prince's animals. They were placed in a small enjoying yard. There were fewer of them, the ones I knew and new ones. Pania Nighty and their two little girl goats. First Nighty gave birth to Princessen, and surprise, her mom gave birth to a baby goat, Mimi. No one knows who was the father of these two. Could have been any of the boys, Pan, Amigo, or Charlie. It was not important. Amigo and the boys were locked in the barn, in the old house. They waited for a new owners, for a new home. Old Nef was castrated. He was not happy anymore. Cat Chabo escaped. He loved freedom and nature. Outside leather was not enough for him. Faithful Digna was looking at everything from above.
Digno. Digno. Digno.
My visit was short. I returned to my work. Prince called me one day. He cried. He couldn't find a new home for his animals. He asked everywhere. Friends, his son's school, host. No one wanted his animals. Prince was distraught. He had to take the animals from the old house. They were not wanted there anymore. He didn't know where. He felt the pressure. The little animals he gave away. With the goats, Pan, Amigo, Charlie, it was more difficult. They were important to him. He did not want them to live in the breeding herd. They were free animals. They were his friends. He decided to kill them. He delayed the decision as long as he could. He hoped for something, so he wouldn't have to kill them. When he took them to the butcher, The goats sensed what was about to happen. They were scared. He told me that they cried terribly. He cried too, for a long time, just as terribly as they did. Digna was with him, no one else. We all mourned. Each had their own mourning. Everyone tried to heal their wounds, the old ones and the new ones. It took a long time. I came the end of 2022 to celebrate New Year. The house was peaceful. We were peaceful. Prince threw himself a vest and a hat made of Amigo's skin. He froze Amigo's meat. It was waiting. He visited the old house from time to time, hoping that Cat Chabo would come back. Instead, Cat Luxie returned. He took her. She was happy. She loved the goat skin. I didn't know if she knew it was Amigo. Digna loved them less. He seemed more melancholic than usual. He was only happy when he went outside. Inside, he seemed shy, sad. Maybe he felt the spirit of the dead. Prince decided to celebrate the New Year by eating Amigo's meat. He wanted to honor him this way. He wanted him to be a part of us. It was very difficult at first, just the idea. Prince cooked the dish for several hours. I was just watching. It finally went well. We honored him. Amigo was part of us. I have never experienced something like this before. It was strong. This was our New Year 2023, our new beginning. This was my fairy tale. I know now that real Gypsy Prince exists, that big hills can be quite small, that scapegoats are killed all the time. I learned that I can be myself and that's enough, that love is in me, inside, like in the trees, that Amigo is in me. This feeling is nice, is life.